Anita, hello.
Oh, hello.
It's lovely to see you. We were just saying before we started our recording that I think it's been about a year, well, the year
Mm,
of confinement that we haven't seen each other.
right.
But it's always a great pleasure to welcome you back to one of our events. And I know that when we talked about what you were going to present for this particular conference with this particular focus about the particular times that we're living in, you immediately had a suggestion. How did it come about? What made you decide on the topic that you've chosen to speak about?
Right. Well, I mean, when I moved to Barcelona about 2 years ago, I had to move online as well because I had a lot of work online.
Yeah,
And, little did I know that the same thing would happen to many teachers in about
yeah,
a year. And I was trying to reflect on this process of, the problems that I had, trying to make my whole career digital.
yeah.
And I talked to other teachers, and they seem to have the same problems. So that's what inspired this talk. I put together a couple of tips that can help people work online and keep their digital lives simple.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was the thing that struck me in your title and your description about keeping the digital life simple, because I sometimes feel that there are so many tech tools now at people's disposal.
Right.
Teachers almost feel under a lot of pressure to, oh, I've got to use that one, I've got to use Wordle, I've got to use this one and that one. And
Yes.
in fact, it ends up complicating our lives in some way. So is that something that you've grappled with as well?
Yes. I mean, I think us as teachers, we are encouraged to always learn new things and improve our methods and do our best to help our students. And this is one of the reasons why I love working with teachers and training teachers. But it's also a kind of FOMO, the fear of missing out, I think, because there are so many tools out there, and we want to know what's best for our students, and we know they can help us, so we end up trying all of them
Yeah.
and then not really finding the ones that really serve our purposes and quickly give up on them, which can be exhausting. So
Exactly. And
that's what
the
I
other
struggle
thing
with.
that occurs to me that's sort of linked with that is that I think most teachers would agree that using these tools and students would agree as well that using these tools is really motivating because, well, they're fun, they're sort of, up to date. I think students like using things that they feel are sort of very current. So obviously motivation is something that directly is a result of using these tools. But do you think that the tools also need to be able to serve those wider pedagogical sort of aims as well? And
I
do
think
they, do
so.
you think?
Yeah. I think, well, this is one of the things I want to talk about in the webinar, that the most important aspect to consider, like what I think is the most important aspect, is whether the tool really enhances the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
And because too often we use tools solely because they are fancy and they look
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
but what is it that it gives to the learning process? How does it make our learners more autonomous, or maybe make our lives a bit easier? Does it cut down on lesson planning? So there are a lot of considerations, and I think it's,
exactly. Because if you're putting in all of that effort to setting up a particular tech tool and
right.
set up the activity and so on, you want to be sure that the pedagogical gain is there, don't you?
And ideally something that will serve multiple purposes. So you won't have a tool for each thing you want to do, but rather fully exploit one tool.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. And final question, we want to keep it short, but what is the tech tool that's your favorite at the moment? I know these things change, but have you got one that you're going back to again and again at the
I
moment?
do. I do. I think the tech tool of 2020 for me was Google Jamboard, without a
Google
doubt.
Jamboard.
Yes. Yeah. Do you
Oh,
know it?
I don't know it. I'm going to have
It
to tune into your presentation.
right. It's an online whiteboard, but it serves lots of purposes. I'm going to show
Yeah.
a couple of them in the webinar.
Brilliant. Okay, well, it's lovely to talk to you, and we're really looking forward to your presentation. And I think if anyone's watching this interview, you'll be able to click on the link and sign up for Anita's webinar, and also get access to all of the other webinars that we're presenting between the 24th and the 27th of February. The topic of the whole conference is building resilience in times of change, and we really hope it's going to be useful for you. Okay, thank you, Anita.
Thank you. See you there.
Bye.